thank you so much for being here tonight, because you have personal experience of dealing with very complicated cases like the one we're about to embark on here. So first and foremost, what's happening behind the scenes at this point with all of these jurisdictions trying to decide where we go next?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's complicated. When I was U.S. Attorney, 4 officers were shot in cold blood here in New Mexico during my time frame. So what I believe is occurring right now is the top prosecutors in the various jurisdictions are trying to talk and coordinate amongst themselves and understand what evidence they have.
Okay.
Right now you have South Carolina, you have the district attorney in Quay County, you have the U.S. attorney in New Mexico, and then you also have the district attorney here in Bernalillo County.
How do they decide which jurisdiction maybe takes the lead, or which one has the first crack at prosecution here?
Well, what I would expect to happen is something that happened when Daniel Webster was murdered up on Central and Eubank. Specifically, right now, this defendant is a person of interest in South Carolina, and then we know that 3 jurisdictions, Quay County, Bernalillo County, and the U.S. Attorney's Office here in New Mexico. What I suspect is going to happen is the U.S. Attorney will take the lead.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they have, for example, carjacking. If he's a prior felon, they have felon in possession with a gun charge. They have charges that they can charge immediately, and this will give the other jurisdictions time to put their cases together.
Okay.
And the most important is in Quay County, put that murder case together.
And you're right, we did see that with Devon Lyman in the murder of Officer Daniel Webster. Feds took over pretty quickly on that case. We have to talk about how South Carolina plays into this. Smith has not been officially charged in the murder of the paramedic in this case, Phoenicia Machado, at this point, still a suspect person of interest. But South Carolina is a death penalty state. Does that complicate things because New Mexico is not?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because what I would expect again is, that is a murder case over there. In that jurisdiction, they still have to put their case together too. So if the U.S. Attorney leads, and by my sense is there's at least probably 5 charges that the U.S. Attorney's Office can charge.
Okay.
And you know, talking about Eric Lyman, who killed Officer Webster, when I was U.S. Attorney, we charged Eric Lyman, and basically we were able to get 28 years before going to the state prosecution. So I suspect that's going to be the same thing. This will give Quay County and South Carolina time to put their murder cases together.
It's almost more of a benefit for the state cases for the feds to be here, because as you're saying, gives them more time with fewer resources at that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with what occurred with this tragedy that occurred, the federal resources are great compared to, for example, what the DA's office has in Quay County. Now, they still have a forensic investigation, but this will give them time to basically put all their ducks in a row.
A couple more questions. People are so hungry and emotional for justice in such a tragic case with 2 seemingly wonderful people that we've lost. Because this is such a complicated path with so many players, do we even dare talk about a timeline or just how much longer this is going to be because all the parts have to work together?
Okay, so again, this is where the lead prosecutors come in. I mentioned there were 4 murders of officers during my time period. There was Jose Chavez, Officer Chavez from Hatch, who was gunned down in cold blood doing a traffic stop. One of the things I focused on back then was doing a global agreement to make sure that that defendant got life in prison in the federal system and also got life in prison in the state system. In other words, keep this individual from ever seeing the light of day, keep him behind bars so that he can't hurt anybody else. And so that, again, will come down to the coordination of the prosecutors.
How much focus would you believe there is right now on finding anybody who may have helped Smith in that multi-day run that he took in our state?
That's very important, because one of the things that you want to do is, when you're talking about justice, you want to make sure that everybody is held accountable that was a part of this, even aiding and abetting afterwards.
Right.
The other part of the case that's important with this is if you can find individuals who were involved, then they can possibly flip on the main defendant, and you have testimony against that individual, and that's makes your case more solid.
Awesome. Former U.S. Attorney Damon Martinez, thank you so much for your insight. Would love to have you back here at 6:30 as we progress with this investigation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.